Dear client and partners, I'm Christophe Mallet, Head of International Development at Ophir Asset Management. I'm happy to inform you that OPHM will invite you to its summer market review. You will have the possibility to listen to our experts from your holiday destination. Today, Eric Turgeman, Equity CIO at Ophir Asset Management, will share with you his views on the financial market evolution.
Hello everyone. The Q2 and therefore H1 reporting season ended more or less last week for European and US companies. The economic shock has been a severe one indeed, and a number of CEOs suspending their guidance targets for this year and next year, but actually the results have generally been no worse than expected. In the US, they have even been better with 3 quarters roughly of US companies beating consensus forecasts. I have to say that the consensus was really not very demanding, in fact. More worryingly, the impression for this earnings report is that CEO has no more visibility on their business and results for the coming months than we do. There's of course the impact of the public health crisis, which they are finding tricky to assess. We have to say that the crisis has led to changes in consumer behavior and some sectors have been hammered. CEOs expect to see a large number of bankruptcy among their suppliers and also clients. So they are thus adopting conservative strategies and they are downsizing their investment budgets and their staff numbers. From a sector point of view, we can say that companies involved to some extent in technology or healthcare are clearly benefiting from the crisis, not to mention the GAFAM giants, while the banking, automotive, civil aviation and tourism industries have been defeated. As I've said on several occasions, GAFAM are beginning to look like stakes within a stakes, and bear in mind that it might draw the attention of the US administration, which could decide to tax them more heavily or worse, break them up. However, even within sectors, some companies are struggling more than others. It means that the strategies being adopted by different companies may or may not be the right ones. Earnings are expected to be roughly 40% lower in Europe versus 2019 and 20% lower in the US. Keep in mind, however, that the second half of the year still looks challenging, and so analysts may end up revising their full-year forecasts further downwards. It's clear that with a price-earning ratio of 23 in the Eurozone and 27 in the US, valuation is not a good argument, even if hopes of a rebound in 2021 would put valuation at 16 in the Eurozone and 20 in the US. One of the main highlights of recent weeks has been the euro-dollar, with the euro continuing to gain ground against the dollar, but also against almost all emerging market currencies. This partly reflects investor confidence in the European Union fiscal stimulus plans agreed on the initiative of Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron. Confidence in the euro is not, however, all good because it makes export more costly and erodes the purchasing power of foreign investors in European assets, especially for US investors. On the political front, Donald Trump is losing ground in US polls, so he is adopting a tougher stance on China, but also Canada, that could undermine the global trade outlook. About epidemic, it's unfortunately not over, and the situation is indeed still worrying in the Americas, North and South alike, especially Brazil. I've just set out a rather gloomy picture, and you may well wonder what might justify buying equities. May I suggest 3 reasons. The first is that the unprecedented fiscal efforts being made by almost every state will end up feeding through into global economic growth and help companies push their profitability back up to pre-crisis levels, maybe. The second concerns the vast amounts of liquidity being poured into the economy by central banks. They may not be directly buying up equity themselves, except for the Bank of Japan, but they are supporting the corporate bond markets and, through arbitrage, helping to prop up the equity markets. The third relates to interest rates, which are zero or negative worldwide, making it difficult to calculate equity valuations, because when equity PE may be at 20, 30, or 50, the bond PE, so I mean the inverse of interest rates, are tending towards infinity. About interest rates, German bond yields have reached a low of minus 0.5%, which is the ECB interest rate floor. And our view of the past few months is that there is no reason for the floor to be breached significantly, as the ECB is not going to lower its interest rates any further. Such low interest rates reflect several factors: uncertainty about the public health situation, the political situation surrounding the US economy recovery plan, and the cautious communication being sent out by central bankers about the subsequent economy recovery. It's interesting to see that inflation expectations are still rising. Some investors think that the state guarantee attached to the business loans being granted by banks is a source of money creation and therefore inflation. So, OFI is sticking with the neutral position we adopted on the equity markets 5 months ago now. This has nonetheless proved a wise decision, as the markets are still stuck in the trading range they have been confined to since the start of this period. So that's it. Thank you very much for attending this webinar, and I wish you happy holidays.